Johnny, I apologize for my language.
John to John apology.
But I take nothing back.
And he wants it all bleeped.
No regrets.
You have to bleep it, John. It's a lot of bleeping. Hello again, and welcome back to Rugby Wrap-Up's MLR Weekly. We have an enormous show for you this week because we have a league, number one. Number two, we have Simon Cross, the head coach of Old Glory DC, John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning, Brian Ray of America's Rugby News, and Pat Clifton of the College Rugby Show on the College Rugby Corner. Rugby Wrap-Up's MLR Weekly brought to you by Sheehy Auto Stores. It's easy at Sheehy. The Pig and Whistle, New York City, the world's best rugby pub. And Lean and Limber, stretching your way to a healthier lifestyle.
There is a massive responsibility on the 23 that are privileged enough to step out on that field today.
Let's get it all started with Rugby Morning's Coffee Break with John Fitzpatrick calling in from the greater Los Angeles area. John, I haven't seen you in over a week. How are you? What's going on?
Well, Matt, you only see me every week, so...
Yeah, but we didn't have a show last week.
Oh, that's right. We didn't have a show last week. That's why it was the best week of my life.
All right, John, you got anything you want to talk about? Anything on top of your mind?
Yeah, I guess 2026 is happening, so some teams are starting to make some more player announcements. There's a few that have caught my eye, Matt McCarthy, you might be interested in. Let's start with OGDC, a club you're familiar with. You used to do some, stadium announcing for that club. But fly half Jason Robertson, he'll be back in 2026. Matt, you may recall that he had a foot injury that prematurely ended his season. Good news for Old Glory DC, one of the top fly halves in MLR the past couple of seasons. You'll remember that cross field kick to Axel Mueller in week 1 to beat Miami at the death.
Okay, that did not go as it was planned. It was absolutely chaotic, and he'll be the first one to admit that the kick didn't go the way he thought it would go. And also people were screaming, "Why are you kicking?" And then 2 players whiffed on it, and it landed in the arms of Axel, and he got into the try zone. But he is a great signing, and he's coming back from that Liz Frank surgery, which was a non-contact injury. It's crazy. So good to see him back. He's also a guy that's fiery, captaining that back line. He's a guy that's barking out whatever everybody has to do, and he's in the locker room as well, calling people out. He's a solid citizen on the field and off the pitch. What else?
Speaking men's Eagles, Ruben DeHaas is signed for the Chicago Hounds. They're picking up. They're making some splashy moves here in the offseason. Matt, there's only 6 teams in MLR in 2026, but you got to think Chicago will be right in the running.
Yeah, and they've gotten some Canadian players back, right? So but Brian Ray, who's on later, he's fuming right now in the green room about everything under the sun.
Stuff it. I mean, I'm sorry. I'm tired of this Canadian whining from them. Put up some money, get a team in an MLR. Be grateful at least there's a league where Canadian players can play. Seriously, I'm tired of it.
I hear you. All right.
What have they done? What have they done?
What have they done?
Yeah, you can say I'm being inconsiderate and all that stuff, but what have they done?
Yeah.
If MLR folds, where are those Canadian players going to play?
You're preaching to the choir here. I got I've said to Canada this is a perfect.
Blame their vote. Blame their World Rugby vote all those years ago. They started all this mess. We're just going to slide over that, skip over that. That I'm serious, man.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at the fact that this is a coffee break.
It's MLR and US's problems that Rugby Canada's all f***ed up.
All right. Well,
we're done here. We're done.
We're done here. No, well, we're not done yet. Okay, we're not done yet. And you're right. Stop bitching and do something, Canada.
The former Prime Minister is dating Katy Perry. How seriously should we take them? Get out of here.
Well, they're the French version of North America. John, anything else that's got your goat? Because you're on a roll.
Yeah, how about this report from the Australia, the NRL or whatever? Couple big rugby league players are going to come to MLR in 2026. Who gives a Who gives? Who cares? No one knows who these guys are. What is that going to do? Who cares?
We got a lot of bleeps in this episode, just in this segment
Johnny.
alone. That's all right. That's all right. Hey, this is what we're here for. It's not John Fitzpatrick's coffee break. It's John Fitzpatrick's venting break. which
Yeah,
is
who
good. It's like
cares?
vent day. It's like a size in coffee, right? Vent day and venting, same thing. On that note, John, we're out of time. I want to thank Mr. John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning for coming on and venting. We'll be right back with head coach of Old Glory DC, Simon Cross, after this.
Digs like a demented mole there.
Need a great price on a new vehicle? Sheehy makes it easy. Easy Price shows you our lowest prices on the Mid-Atlantic's largest selection. Find your best price online or at any of our 31 dealerships.
It's easy at Sheehy. Sheehy.com.
If you're in New York City and want to watch some great rugby, have some great food, and some great times, go to the world's best rugby pub, the Pig and Whistle on West 36th Street.
And we're back with Simon Cross, the head coach of Old Glory DC. Welcome back to MLR Weekly, Simon.
Matt, thank you very much. Good to see you.
Likewise. And Simon, you're not one of these coaches that disappears after the offseason and goes back to his home and overseas. You're living in DC year-round with the family. Is that right?
No, we are. We're very fortunate to be here all year round. And it's, Chris and Paul are putting us to work, but we love it here. So, we're all year round and having a great time.
So you're pretty much getting the full American experience right now.
Indeed, we are.
Let's get past the fluff, Simon, and get down to the brass tacks. The team, the complexion of it is going to change considerably because of what has transpired in the league and the new philosophy on, identifying and promoting domestic players. So, but you still have slots that you can sign internationally. Let me ask you about a few players because you did have a successful campaign, beating the reigning champion New England Free Jacks twice, just not being able to get beyond that first round. Is there more pressure to win with less teams in the league?
Hey, that's a great question. I think it's the same. We still got to get through Chicago. We still got to get through New England, obviously, to win the championship. So, we had a pretty successcul time last year against New England, but we just failed to get past Chicago in that first round of the playoffs, which was an unbelievable game. We were great for the first half, and then we just couldn't maintain that first half display in the second half. So they deservedly won that game, and we were pretty disappointed at the end of it. But I think it's the same pressure. Like I say, the reigning champions are there now for the last 2 or 3 years. I feel like we've kind of got their number. We certainly had their number last year. We'd like a fair crack at them again this year. So we're looking forward to that rivalry again.
All right, and let's talk about the team that you're going to have to renew that rivalry. You guys have had a significant amount of domestic players on your team since your inception. But now you've got success, and this is, some of the prices of success. Jack Cascaro, for instance, playing with Stade Francais over in the top 14 right now. Are you concerned that you might not get him back as your loosehead prop?
I think concerned is the wrong word. I think we're delighted with Jack. I almost hope he doesn't come back in lots of respects because he has been the standout loose head in the league. I've been telling a lot of people about him, a lot of people about Corey Daniel. I think those are the two guys I've got that could certainly play from the Eagles, could certainly play in the Premiership or the URC back home. So, no, I'm delighted with Jack. I hope he makes his way into the top 14 or into Europe. I think, he's a good player. But if we get him back, it's an added bonus as well. We've covered ourselves. We've got some very good players coming back. Calixto Martinez is our Canadian who's coming back. He has been one of our best players in the last couple of years as well. So, if Jack doesn't come back, we've got some exciting young guys coming through as well.
You're also, another big international signing for you is bringing back Jason Robertson, who was injured with that Liz Frank surgery last year. Tell me about him on and off the pitch.
Jason's he's been one of the outstanding performers in the MLR since Old Glory's inception. So we're delighted to have him back, and it really is a reflection on what Chris and Paul have managed to build, where all of our international players are coming back. There's almost nobody that we really haven't been able to bring back from an international point of view who was one of our regular starters last year. So we've got lots of good news coming up in terms of the guys that are coming back, and there'll be a few surprises in there as well. So we're looking forward to announcing those.
Connor Buckley, why isn't he on the Eagles?
That is a question we've been asking ourselves for a long time, certainly for a couple of years. I think Connor's one of the best scrum halves in the league. He's got better and better every year he's been with us, and we liked him when he was at New York. So I think he's just got to stick with it. I think another good, solid season with us, if he comes back.
Well, hold on, Simon, do you feel a little bit undermined by this because he's your first selection more often than not, and the second selection was with the Eagles?
Yeah. I mean, look, coaches have got their own opinions. Coaches understand what they're, how players fit in. Connor has always been our number one, really, certainly since the middle of last season. Also, the middle of our first season, when Ethan and Connor did a great job of moving Danny to Tusitala on. Since then, Connor really has stepped up into another level, and he is our number one. We wish Ethan all the best wherever he ends up next, but Connor certainly is our number one, and I thought that would have been reflected perhaps in the Eagles selection this year, but he's just got to be patient and he's got to keep working, and he will do that. He's that kind of player, as you know.
All right, another player that was a key player for you last year, Steph Hughes. He's coming back, but he's coming back as a coach. Now, in a pinch, can he put the cleats on and go in for you?
I mean, he hasn't retired medically. He's retired off his own bat. He's going to be an excellent coach for us. We aren't looking at him as a player. But absolutely, if we have an injury crisis, then, there is an option for us to move him in there if he wants to. We're going from a squad, and all clubs now are going to go from probably 38, 39-man squads to somewhere around 31, 32. So we definitely need to have people who can cover at least one or at least two positions. I don't see Steph as a player next year. I see him as a guy cutting his teeth in coaching. He's going to be excellent for us. We'll miss Kurt, but I think Steph will certainly fill in those shoes comfortably. So we're excited about what he brings to the coaching table, and we'll see where we go.
All right. So again, on that international slot thing, they're going down to 7 in the match day 23. How much will that change your game plan?
It doesn't change ours at all, really. We've had clear direction and leadership from Chris and Paul over a number of years around winning with Americans. We had 25 Americans in our squad last year. We're now at 24 this year, with probably 8 international players. I reckon we'll end up with in the end. So we're pretty good. We've Canadians going to international status for us doesn't affect us. We've brought our best Canadian back, in Cali, and we're excited about what this brings. I think it's the right thing for USA Rugby, and I think the league is going to be an excellent one next year.
Let's talk about the community, because there's some good stuff going down there in the D.C. area, the nation's capital, as far as rugby is concerned. What are you guys doing to develop players? And tell me about the academy and the Safe Tackle initiative.
There's two things there which are really taking off. I mean, the Young Glory Academy under Stan South has grown from around 150 kids to nearly 250 kids, which has been brilliant. We've changed the format from just one central location to now 3 geographical locations, one at Mount St. Mary's in the north. We've got the central going on at sort of West Potomac High School and Sandburg Middle School, and then we've got the south with Mary Washington, and each one of those is attached to one of the schools that we're currently working with. So, Mary Wash and Mount St. Mary's have been looked after by some of the Old Glory coaches as well. So we're just developing all the way from sort of 14 years old all the way up to 22, 23-year-olds, which is exactly what we should be doing. We should be leading from the front in terms of, getting out there, helping coach coaches and getting as many kids playing as possible. So we're really happy. And actually, we've also started a kind of a tackle academy, which is trying to cross over the skills and the tackling from rugby into football. And we've got a lot of high schools now who are interested. I was up at the Commanders a few weeks ago interviewing one of their players, TJ, who's come from rugby in the international sort of player pathway into the NFL. I got a chance to meet Dan Quinn, which was really exciting as well, just to talk a bit about tackling and what we're doing, how there is a crossover. So there's just lots of good things going on, and it's Old Glory out in the community. It's why we're here all year round, and we're just having a great time doing it.
When you met Dan Quinn, the head coach of the Washington Commanders, was it like the doctor, coach? Did you coach?
It was. But it's two defensive-minded guys who are now head coaches in their respective roles. So we just straight away started talking about tackling and defense and all this stuff. It was brilliant, but it was just, he's also a big rugby fan. He was the defensive coordinator under Pete Carroll at the Seahawks when they won the So, he's always been interested in rugby, and it was just nice to have that sort of brief moment with him, just talking about, hey, how rugby could benefit football at some point.
Get some synergy going. I love it. Well, Coach, it's always great catching up with you. I let you off easy this time. Next time, I'm going to really take you down brick by brick.
Look forward to it.
Simon Cross of Old Glory, D.C. Thank you, sir, for coming on.
Thanks, Matt.
All right, we'll be right back with the College Rugby Corner with Pat Clifton from the College Rugby Show after this.
It is eating season. Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, New Year's. At Health Enhanced Foods, we got 17 baking mixes to be able to help enhance your holiday meals. Whether you're gluten-free, you need ketogenic, whether you are low FODMAP, whatever your special dietary need is, we have a baking mix for you. Go to healthenhancedfoods.com. Go ahead and use coupon code RugbyOdds to be able to get 25% off your first order. Let's get this season going. And honestly, whatever Matt's about to say next, just ignore it. It's not even worth it.
And we're back with Mr. Patrick Clifton of the College Rugby Show on the College Rugby Corner. Pat, welcome back. How are you?
I'm great, man. It is playoff time, baby. I was just down in Springfield, sunny Springfield, Missouri. It was unseasonably warm for women's D1 AA, D2, D3 action. That was chicken soup for the rugby guy's soul. It was a great weekend, and it's just the beginning. We got the men kicking off this weekend.
Wait a minute. Whoa. We can't gloss over the fact that I was in Bethany, OKC, Oklahoma City, for the semifinal between BYU and SNU, pal. And that was in sunsplashed Oklahoma/Bethany. Coach, congratulations on a nail biter of a victory in your home, on your home turf. What's going through your mind right now?
I'm just proud of the girls. We're confident in them. We have a lot of we believe in those girls. Sometimes even when they don't believe in themselves. So they didn't surprise me today with the way they came out. They may surprise themselves in a little bit. But you don't get that kind of competition on a regular basis. And so to have a day like that is good for everybody. And it's just what I think this is all about.
All right, well, congratulations and thanks for letting me be part of a very exciting day of rugby.
Oh, thank you for being here.
Congrats to SNU, Southern Nazarene University. Go ahead, Pat.
Well, on the women's side, right at the top end, we saw the favorites punch their way to national championships, and that was Harvard defeating Dartmouth and Lindenwood beating Army. So we've got Lindenwood and we've got Harvard in the NYRA National Championship. I think everyone expected that. Just like, SNU BYU was a little bit more of a toss-up, close game, but Tulesi Uatafe with the hat trick, they were fantastic. They punched their ticket, and we've got a repeat national championship game between them and Wheeling. That's the women's side. On the top end and the men's side, we had some great matchups. Southern Nazarene, the men were playing against St. Bonaventure at 44-17. It's really 34-0 before SNU got on the board, but kudos to them, program's first ever playoff berth. Indiana Walsh was a fantastic game. The Cavaliers come away with that one. Thomas More went down to Belmont Abbey, 46-21. And then Wheeling went up to Dartmouth and won at Brophy Field, 38-33. The real headline is the Atlantic Rugby Conference went 4-for-4 in all of the play-in matches, all these first-round matches to get to the quarterfinals. And
wow,
we've got a fantastic, interesting fact here for you, McCarthy. 6 of 8 of our quarterfinalists in men's D1, Catholic institutions.
Wow, a wing and a prayer. Prayer was the fullback.
There you go. Men's D1 AA. All right, let's talk quickly there. BC, Boston College, huge over West Chester, 64-31. BC arrived late to the game. Westchester insisted that they kick off at the same time. Ran out to
Did they literally arrive late to the game or figuratively?
Like way later than their arrival time because the bus driver got lost a couple of times. They get there and they play at the same kickoff time. Boston College goes out to like a 4 or 5 try deficit and then goes on a 50-point run, winning 64-31. They have Louisville in the next round. Babson goes down. The Beavers, their D1 AA Cinderella run, cut short by Bowling Green. They have Virginia Tech in the next round. Oregon State, Sam Houston State, the Battle of the Orange out in Denver, Colorado. Sam Houston State wins that one by just a conversion and advances to the second round of the Battle of the Orange to play Tennessee. And then Kentucky put UNC Charlotte to the sword, 79-0 there in Lexington, and they move on to play Texas A&M in the quarterfinals in Atlanta. So in Atlanta, you got Tennessee versus Sam Houston State, Texas A&M versus Kentucky. Let's get you on a plane and get you some Chick-fil-A, Matt McCarthy.
I'm in. That was then. What's ahead of us, Pat?
Well, I mean, this weekend is really all those quarterfinals. Louisville, Boston College, Virginia Tech, Bowling Green, Tennessee, Sam Houston State, Texas A&M, Kentucky. Great games. Kentucky's going for a three-peat men's D1 AA, but they're doing it kind of as the underdog now because they finished second in the SEC to Tennessee. So will their quest continue? Will Tui Osborne win his third national championship with a third program? To my knowledge, if he does that with A&M this year, he would be the first ever coach to do that in all of college rugby history, having won one at Life and then at St. Bonaventure prior. So many stories abound there. On the D1 side, You've got every national champion that NCR D1 has ever produced is still in it, in the running to go. Basically, every semifinalist that we've ever had is in it and in the running to go. So lots of great games and really fantastic matchups here. Jack Waterhouse and Notre Dame, probably the best player in men's D1, but I think Notre Dame's still going to be a little bit of an underdog when they go up against Belmont Abbey. Can they come good? And they've got lots of really good players outside of him there at Notre Dame as well. So lots to look forward to this weekend. And
Belmont Abbey, impressive.
Oh, yeah, very good. That Atlantic Rugby Conference is the SEC of college rugby. And, fourth or fifth in that league proves, last week they were really going against runners-up of conferences. This week they got conference champions. Brown's a conference champion of the Liberty. Marion's the Big Rivers champion. Notre Dame's the Big Ten champion. And then the other quarterfinal is 2 ARC teams. So now it's ARC's number 2, 3, and 4 going up against the champions of other conferences. We'll find out exactly how strong they are relative to everyone else this weekend.
All right, now before I ask you for the rugby odds obligation that you have to give us picks, I just have to point out that Mike McDonald was spectacular in defeat for the University of Buffalo with a try, some great defense, some great tackles, and I just want to salute him against St. Bonaventure. And I know it was the second side, but we don't need to talk about that. As per your obligation, per the rugby odds, give us 2 games.
Look, I think that Notre Dame's going to beat Belmont Abbey. They are having, and I'm just strictly rooting for the content. They have the best content in all of college rugby. Every single game, there's like a new documentary that comes out. If you haven't watched their Big Ten reel from them winning the Big Ten championship in the snow over Indiana, you have not lived. It is the best 90 seconds you can get of college rugby viewing. So I am strictly rooting for Notre Dame to keep going. I love the Jack Waterhouse story, the comeback, and I love watching it all unfold on Instagram. So there's one pick. And then the other pick is Marion. I'm picking Marion over Walsh in the battle of the Knights and the Cavaliers. I don't really know what a Cavalier is, but I don't think they wear cool armor like the Knights. So I'm picking Marion.
I know what it's like to be Cavalier. I can tell you that, But
I've been in a Chevy Cavalier.
Don't think I don't notice that you're picking Marion because I picked Marion earlier in the season against Notre Dame.
I'm just a follower, Matt.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm going to come on with a bald head next week.
Thank you. I'm not bald. I'm getting taller and my hair hasn't caught up. Anyway, on that note, Pat, thanks for another stellar segment and best of luck to you on the College Rugby Show. We'll be right back with Brian Ray of America's Rugby News after this. You need your cleats? You need them tomorrow? If you order today by 3 p.m. New York time or noon LA time, they can have them to you tomorrow. Young, old, male, female, if you're playing on turf, if you're playing on grass, if you're playing in the rain, you're playing in the heat, they've got you covered. RugbyNow.com. Go there now. This is the Rugby Odds, where an unlikely pundit panel of a wordsmith, a WWE legend, a rugby star, and a supermodel scour the globe, seeking best bets and bad behavior. Are you not entertained? And we're back again with Mr. Brian Ray of America's Rugby News / Ray's Rugby. Brian, welcome back. Let's talk about the 2026 season as it is in front of us. Any innovations that you'd like to see? Tweaks?
Yeah, I'd love to see Canadian players made domestic. I think that would be a real progressive move by MLR.
Aside from that, move on, evolve, come on, change, let's go. Anything else?
I'd love to see something wacky and drastic, like no wacky innovations and just play the rules of rugby as they are. I absolutely hate all the those crazy experimental variations, the 7-point try, all that crap. I've never been in favor of any of that. So
you'd like to dial it all back and just make it, rugby at its purest. So replay TMO,
I have long been an advocate for the minimum amount of TMO interventions possible. Eddie Jones spoke about it in the past week. He can't stand where the game is headed with that stuff. I think the bunker is an absolute embarrassment to the sport. If MLR wanted to scrap the TMO completely, save them a few bucks and maybe some controversy, that might not be the worst move in the world. At the very least, all I'd want to see is, absolute skullduggery, clear red cards called in. And the only other thing I want to hear from the TMO is if they're doing, something that's directly impacted a try within, 2 phases, 3 phases. Even 3 phases seems like a stretch. It has to have direct impact on a try being scored. That's all I want from the TMO. Let's put the decisions back in the hands of the referee where they should be.
I like that. And unless you have 10 cameras dedicated to TMO, it's not really that you can't really do it well enough to have it. So there's one. All right. So Nations Cup. What do you make of this?
I'd love to know what's revolutionary about it. Tier 2 teams are getting guaranteed tests, I guess, against other Tier 2 teams. But, where the game is going to be played, it seems like they're probably going to be, 3 games played in one location kind of deal. Again, to save some travel dollars for World Rugby. Is that really the best for Tier 2 sides? How do they make any money out of this? Don't they make money from hosting games? Is World Rugby going to subsidize them? Are they going to get some kind of cut from a TV deal?
Of course not.
We haven't heard anything, so I don't really see what's amazing about this at all. Look at this year. Okay, take the Eagles tour they've just done. Those 3 tests they played. Next year they're going to play 3 tests. Well, except one of the opponents isn't going to be a Tier 1 opponent. They're not going to get a Scotland. They're going to get some Tier 2 opponent. Is that better for the U.S.? You tell me.
Well, until they're ready to play a Tier 1 nation, getting housed 85-0 by a Scotland B team isn't helping them either, though, right?
Okay, but don't you want to eventually see them playing those teams again?
Eventually.
How far down the road do you think? If they're not capable of even living with a Tier 1 side by, I hear there's a World Cup coming, 2031?
That they're going to win in 2031. Yeah. That they're going to win.
So this isn't going to give them any opportunities to play Tier 1 sides between now and then. So I'm just not just not a fan of it. I don't see how sticking Nations Cup in there is going to make anybody any more interested in watching those games. It's
what do you know? What do you know? What do you know? All right, well, we're out of time. So final thought, Brian.
Congrats to Samoa for grabbing that final qualification spot for 2027. Quite a few guys on that team with MLR experience, so a shame a bunch of them won't be back now in MLR, but it was nice to see anyways, even though they squeaked through, Rodney Ionas from Seattle playing at 10 for them and a bunch of other guys. So congrats to them. And now looking forward to that 2027 tournament.
But Brian, it was a 13-13 tie against Belgium. Are you celebrating? They were favored by 28 points.
They made it through, didn't they? Are you gonna? That's all right. That's the name of the game.
I hate ties. I hate ties in rugby. That's another tweak we got to talk about. We'll talk about that maybe next week. And on that note, we're out of time. Brian, I want to thank Mr. Brian Ray of America's Rugby News / Ray's Rugby, John Fitzpatrick of Rugby Morning, Simon Cross of Old Glory, and Pat Clifton of the College Rugby Corner. And thank you for tuning in. Please check out the Rugby Odds. It's really good this week. Hit that subscribe button on YouTube. Sign up for our weekly newsletter. And please join our American Red Cross blood donor team.